Hello and welcome to Korero, platform where we analyze issues and also we dissect all of the issues. My name is Godwin Sunday, and tonight we will be looking at the all issues surrounding corruption in Nigeria. And of course, we'll try to cross the T's and dot the I's in this conversation. Please stay with us as we'll begin the conversation immediately after this break. You're welcome back. Now, corruption remains one of Nigeria's biggest governance and development challenges. It cost the country an estimated $15 to $18 billion annually. Now, according to estimates by civil society groups, and continues to weaken public institutions, economic growth, security, healthcare, education, infrastructure, and public trust. Now, despite the existence of anti-corruption laws and agencies like the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, the ICPC, Nigeria still rank 145 out of 180 countries on Transparency International's 2024 Corruption Perception Index. Now, only about 30% of Nigerians say they have confidence in government institutions to fight corruption effectively. Now, reducing corruption requires sustained political commitment, strong institutions, transparent governance and independent judiciary, active citizens' participation, and strict enforcement of existing laws. No single measure can end it, but consistent reforms and accountability can significantly cut losses, improve service delivery, and restore public confidence. Now, the big question tonight is the government truly ready to end corruption or just managing it? Well, joining me on Korero tonight to discuss this is Honorable Destiny Enabulele, and he'll be helping us put all of these issues in perspective. It's a delight to have you join.
My brother.
Good evening.
Thanks to be here.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Now,
Thanks for having me.
Let's begin the conversation by first looking at corruption in Nigeria. We'll begin even from the recent incident of the Batamia Miller's incident and the whole issue surrounding the PFIPC scandal. Let's begin from there. Are we ready to fight corruption?
My brother,
yes.
let me can see I'm just smiling sheepishly as to tell you that as a currently stand in this country, you've read it just now, that over $15 billion annually is needed to corruption. So now we are again neck deep in another system that is pride himself to be corrupt. That is the LCM of all these shenanigans. You know, no, it was other sister station. Right? I told you guys that we shouldn't expect anything fantastic or spectacular from these ruiners that is Nassau Rock across the length and breadth of this country in subnational governments. Because just take a look, try to look at the antecedents of these persons that are currently ruining us in this country. Perhaps you must have heard of the Badger Gate, the man at the synergy of all eyes, as we speak very just now. It's antecedent in the United States of America. Is it that of the Ogun State, the present governor of Ogun State? So when you look at this crop of persons that are currently ruining this country, you would, for sure, even if you give them 20 years, God forbid, they will not get 10 years by the grace of God. They will not. Well, because you see, you've said something very, saying a government parasite or an agency is fake. Is it fake or they say it's ghost? I'm a little bit confused, but not that of the confusion of those state government. But I'm confused as a person.
We will get to it
because you know why.
We'll get to it.
Let me learn with this thought.
Yes.
Let me learn with this thought. You see, you can take this to the bank. You know, corrupt or fake government begets fake agency or parastatal. Go back to history. You understand what I'm saying? If there is no a symptom of madness in your family, there's no way you will get madness. You have madness in succeeding, children. It's difficult.
Well, let's talk
but
about.
When there is trace,
let's talk about. Let's talk about
even when you go before a doctor, they will ask you all these
Honorable,
things.
let's talk about the agencies of government. We have the ICPC, we have the EFCC. In all of these quagmire to fight corruption in the country, can we say that these agencies are not living up to their responsibility when it has to do with combating corruption? If we want to grade them right now, what would the percentage be?
You see, to be very frank with you, my dear brother, you see, your head, if your head is healthy, what I mean this is my head. If I don't have any ache or any sort of, if there's nothing that is wrong with my head, there's every tendency that the whole of my body will be well. Do you agree with me?
Of course.
So for me, you should. I said it. You shouldn't expect anything, spectacular from all these anti-corruption agencies, whether it's ICPC, Code of Conduct or EFCC. At any rate, the man in question, the prince, was being given an award by the EFCC that ordinarily they said they are thorough in their modus operandi. Quote unquote. If you see them, they arrogate themselves to be, beyond the reach of you and I, that they are superhuman beings. But here you are, the government. But for me, although I refuse to buy in those their lies, you see, you and I know it is contract that went sour between Prince and the Badger Gate.
So before we get to that, the Prince and Badger Gate, we are still ranked 145 out of 180 countries on Transparency International. And now that leaves a bitter test in the tongue of a lot of Nigerians, which is why I'm asking at this point, looking at the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the ICPC in itself, if we want to rate them in terms of performance from 2004 till date, what would be your scorecard?
I don't know. Were you expecting any decline that we should drop from the ladder?
So going by that, we cannot categorically say.
I start by saying just now, I'm a father, I'm a husband. If I am a thief, that every night I go out to hustle and I come back in the morning, there's every tendency that's among my children that will follow my footsteps. There's every tendency. You don't need babalawo, you don't need any imam or any pastor to kabash. Is the gospel?
So you're saying the institutions are
not the institution.
Okay.
President Ahmed Bola Tinubu.
But
excuse me. Let's call a spade a spade.
Recall President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
You have a case.
The EFCC.
You have a case. Forfeited how many thousands of dollars for the United States government?
The EFCC was birthed in 2004, just to put the record straight.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
It began with President Olusegun Obasanjo until date. If we want to go by that analysis, can we say that the numbers keep increasing based on different administrations? Because I don't want to believe that it's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that brought the EFCC, that is probably made us to have these figures that we're having right now in terms of the ranking.
Godwin, I'm not a little bit comfortable when people try to juxtapose, comparison this administration and from the very betting of this dispensation. That's from 1999. You see, to embark on a fresh project is very difficult. As I speak before you, there is a venture I'm trying to put in place. For the past 4 months, I have not achieved 30%. But if the foundations, perhaps I inherited the foundation from my mother or father, by now I would have been able to achieve 60%. So for us now, comparing Tinubu administration with that of OBJ
in terms of the EFCC,
I'm a little bit disturbed. I'm a little bit disturbed.
The conversation revolves around the EFCC.
Let me take you back.
Yeah,
the EFCC, you are aware that in this country, EFCC, the former IGP Balogun was brought before the EFCC. Even when the EFCC was being, saddled with policemen at the various heads. They took Balogun and many others. I won't want to mention their names. The IGP was handcuffed. But today, you have Baja, popularly known as Baja Gate. It's now the president is telling you that he's comfortable with it.
So
the issue is this.
So you're saying...
Excuse me, let me know this. The issue is this. We are not saying he's not paying Baja with his own personal money. It is Nigeria collective patrimony. That is, we are saying we don't want him.
Are you saying
for thorough investigation?
Are you saying that the EFCC have failed under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
You see, let me quickly say this. You see, the man at the call of this matter, if they tell you the atrocity the Baja Gate has committed from 2023 to date, my brother, is mind blowing. Even I that is standing that is here before you. They used him to remove him from the House of Assembly. He put a call across to judges that were presiding over election tribunal.
Do you have facts so substantial?
I have it. Even the person that contacted him, that quote unquote is boy, admitted in our community meeting.
Honorable, that's a very strong allegation.
In our village meeting.
Honorable, that's a very strong allegation to say that Femi Gbajamiamila.
Let me go back to your question. Let me go back to your question. Yeah. You agree with me that in terms of potency of these various anti-corruption agencies, they are fall short of what some of us expect from them. It will interest you. I'm from the civil society. I have an NGO. I have once had a collaboration with EFCC. Catch them young. If you cast your mind back, through the Niger data, went to some schools and all of that, to tell them to sell the commission to them. At the very beginning, maybe the very beginning, let me put it that way, of this EFCC. So from what you are expecting, for EFCC, quote unquote, establish commission to have accepted, again, quote unquote, whether fake or a ghost agency, and awarded that the DG, there's more to it than media eyes. There's more to it than media. That's why I said just now that it was a contract that went sour. Take it or leave it. Just as the prince rightly said, that because he requested for about 40-something% of the total budget of the agency, that is why he's been seen to be.
Although I've told the prince to retract those statements and the whole allegation.
But the issue is not
let's come back to the issue around corruption in Nigeria.
Yes.
Now, a lot of issues. We began with the EFCC.
Yes.
To start the conversation.
Yes.
Now, you spoke earlier and said that the president should resign. Of course, this is what the NDC is saying. And largely, the ADC is also towing that path. A lot of not two political parties are also asking the president to resign. But is this going to put a lasting solution to corruption issues in Nigeria?
You see, let me quickly say this. In this part of this world, we don't resign. But resignation has a lot to do with accountability. You saw what happened not too long ago in the United Kingdom. You saw it. That is honorable. See, at times I begin to wonder. Well, you are very close to them in terms of your complexion. You can say you are an outcast now, but for me, I can't deny. I'm confused at times. When I sit down, begin to what is wrong with this? What is wrong with this complexion? I've carried out a study. It's the same color of blood that we have, both the white and this dark skin. What is our problem as a people? Look at what is happening in Africa. 54 nations as we speak. We can't even point up to 5 nations that is doing well or are doing well. At times I begin to wonder, what is who caused us? Who bewitched us? Have we erred in any way? If we had erred, but as God will have it, we have many churches. There are no streets in Nigeria where you don't have churches. The least you have up to 2 churches in a street. But if we were to beat them, they would have been able to intercede or intervene on our behalf. But it's not working. I begin to ask, there's something wrong with this complexion.
But
even at that, I will not say because there's something wrong, let me go into, I'm coming, let me learn, to go into and begin to imbibe the bleaching cream. But I know there are still some good, very good, brilliant, God-fearing, dark-skinned people like my humble self.
Well, Honorable, is the problem corruption or the people that occupy offices? We've seen decent Nigerians occupy sensitive office and they end up getting even captured in the system. Is it the system or the individual? Let's talk about
Let me tell you, both. The people, you see, every society deserves this kind of a leadership they want. You see, as we speak very just now, the smaller unit of this macro, there's a defect from our family units. As a currently stand, what we celebrate are Ferraris, Lamborghini, just name them. Look at our younger ones going naked on the stage. They are giving SUVs. But our brothers and sisters that are doing well in the university, getting scholarship, getting 5 point something GDP. There are no recognition. At times you see a state governor giving them 5,000 naira, giving them 50,000 naira. But our sisters that are going naked, and even our brothers that are shown half naked and wearing boxers in low waist, they're getting thousands, millions to compensate them. That's why recently, perhaps you must have heard the I've forgotten, maybe the course of that I will remember. There's a fundamental problem that we need to address from the family unit. And again, the system, you can recall, the former president of the United States of America said the greatest challenge of the African continent is weak institutions, strong men. Just look at it. But be as we speak very just now. There are rumors that for the last 6 months or 4 months thereabout, it's in Switzerland. Whether he's dead or alive, nobody knows. Even the country is not aware. They want to die there. So that's why I said, is there something wrong with this king? I'm doing a research. There's something wrong? I will start with an article. I want to know whether there's something wrong. So for me, I'm confused.
Can we say at this point that the origin of corruption then is from the family setup?
You see, we have missed it as a people. I tell you, when I was growing up, I grew up from a very fantastic family. The polygamous. With utmost humility, toxic. I use the word toxic deliberately. But there was discipline, there was decorum. I tell you, till the exit of my father, that's why you don't see me. I don't have strength for menial job. Because if my father sees a pen in your hand, and not a pen that he gives you money to go buy, to use for he will ask you, where did you get it? My father, he was a teacher. Later became a politician before his exit at 62. So for me, there's a fundamental problem at the family unit currently. My father said something that time. He said the good are giving birth to bad. When the bad start giving birth, what will we have? We've not yet getting to Malachi. There's a fundamental problem. No, you talk about Matthew to talk about Revelation. There's a problem.
So from the challenge right now is if the family unit is breeding corrupt Nigerians as it stands.
Materialism.
Materialistic. If that is what it is right now,
yes.
Can we genuinely say that we are ready as a country to fight corruption?
You see, we are not ready. If you ask me why, the likes of, with utmost humility, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they enjoyed free education. They ate big chicken, not agri chicken, good chicken from our soil, full chicken. They drove on free buses to school. But as soon as they come to power, they came to power. All those things that they enjoyed, they said their grandchildren can no longer enjoy them. Is that not wickedness? According to one of my seniors, said that is Lucific. Indeed, it's Lucific. You met a system that you inherited from the colonial master. Now perfectly doing well. You destroyed that system because of your own personal and selfish aggrandizement. That is the bottom. You see, I was in a seminar not too long ago, but few weeks ago, And I heard person saying that they're blaming our colonial master. And I told them to their face. That's what scholars could refer to as frustrational scapegoatism. They left the system. That's why to keep on blaming the dead. Now, those that are alive should be blaming themselves.
Honorable,
we inherited a very fantastic system.
We have very fantastic laws in fighting corruption.
Beautiful.
So I'm curious about
beautiful.
Is it the implementation that is the challenge, or we need to revamp this
interpretation?
So the judiciaries are not interpreting the law.
The judiciary is our greatest principalities.
So you are saying the
judiciaries
are not
function against Nigerians.
They are not interpreting the laws correctly.
I said with every fiber of my bone, he said the judiciary, I could currently stand. They are the principalities and powers functioning against Nigerians.
But judges will
if Nigerians want to, I'm coming, sir. If Nigerians want to succeed, they will first of all kill the judiciary.
But judges will disagree with you on that. Because
if you have looked at, I'm coming, sir.
We've seen judiciary.
You are not hearing from me for a very time.
Please,
Professor Kalu, not too long ago, I have his book, The Selectorate. I will send it to you. I was almost coming with it just now because I didn't drive. So I was almost bringing it. They had another one from my friend, my senior brother, this guy from the West that was arrested at the time.
Barrister,
I've forgotten his name. Yeah. You heard. These are practitioners. At least I'm not a practitioner. You have heard from the horse's mouth. See, I have told that. See, if Nigerians want to succeed, they should first of all, cast and bind, and use what will permit me, and use the tapia.
Well, the judiciary would say that the challenge is not them because their job is to interpret. But this largely
our judiciary is cash and carry.
It stems from
cash and carry.
It stems from the National Assembly, and you, of course, was one time in the National Assembly.
No, the State House of Assembly.
So let's even look at the whole issue.
The judiciary
is the problem from the National Assembly or the State House of Assembly?
You see, there is a dangerous dance between the legislative and the executive powers. That is the gospel truth. Perhaps you must have heard what happened today at the floor of the House, where they were saying to someone whether the runners in the executive. And there was almost going to what my elder brother, Godomigodo, will refer to the state of Ilaga Filogo. It was almost degenerating to a state of Ilaga Filogo. If indeed they are not rubber stamp, I think we are even insulting rubber stamp. If there's something worse than that, I will do with it. My next engagement, I will look for something worse than rubber stamp.
To classify,
if indeed
they are carrying out classify the National Assembly,
yes,
both state and
all across board. Even when I was there,
so you were part of the system.
Inclusive for that.
So you were part of the system that also
inclusive
for that system. And
you see, you know what I'm saying. So
yeah,
here we are. They said there is whether a ghost or a fake agency, although a fake government begins a fake agency. It is the duty of the legislators to do what we call line by line interrogation of the budget. You see, at any rate, at times you don't blame them. At times they will get it few hours, they will tell you must pass it within now. That it's an executive bill. And don't you know it's coming from the president? Or don't you know it's coming from governor? At times you get it in the morning. They will tell you must pass it before 12 noon. Am I an AI that will flip through sometimes 300 something pages? All you need to do is just to concur, not your head. And they will have their way. That's why I use the word just now. I said there is a dangerous dance between the legislature and the executive. And if not checked, we are gradually gravitating towards what my grandmother will refer to. A man that is after a snake will be on the run.
Well, and the snake will have to be on the run. There is another perspective to this corruption conversation, and it stems again from procurement. A lot of Nigerians believe that it's from the whole procurement process that corruption flourishes or flourish most. Do you agree with that submission?
My brother, since the session of APC-led administration, you can go and do your own find. You are a journalist. There has never been due process. There's never been procurement. Bidding. None. You are aware that as we currently stand, since 2023, that they are running concurrently 3 appropriation budget. 3. This is the first time. I'm a student of history. At least I have a master's in history. I've never in anywhere in the developed client seen a government running a 3 appropriation budget. 3 appropriation at the same time. You see that peak from 2023 or peak from 2024 or 2025? As if we are in a banana republic. The last time I checked, Nigeria is not a fair state. It can only happen in a fair state. Except you are telling me it's a fair state. No wonder the late Professor Chinua Achebe said there was a country.
Well, when we talk about corruption, Honorable, the conversation tends to be centered around the federal tier of government, forgetting that the states also exist and also local governments. Do we have corruption even at these other tiers of government?
You see, my brother, I'm not talking.
It's just about or civil society organizations like which you currently chair.
Yes, I've returned back. I've returned back to.
Are not interested in even talking about corruption within these tiers, or they don't exist at all.
If you see the way I've been talking, I'm not concentrating my energy to the center. Across board, I use the word across board. But at this point, I must exonerate the third tier. They have found themselves in a quagmire. See, they are puppet. It's virtually
even though autonomy has been granted.
The autonomy is in the paper. What is it? My brother, see, I've been saying this. All these persons or ruiners in Aso Rock, they are telling Nigerians what they want to hear. If you recall,
so you are saying, go ahead, please.
If you recall, at the true light of this when I say this administration, of this party in government from Buhari, they rode on the shoulders of civil society. They knew the potency of civil society organizations. Were aware of the vibrancy of the tornado nature of civil society. They cajoled them to believe in their whims and caprices, to believe in their shenanigans, and the civil society gladly helped them to get to power. And when they got there, it's likened to a man that used a ladder to climb to the first story building. After climbing, he threw away the ladder. They discarded the civil society. They make them impotent. They make them vegetable. They make them as if it's nullity, non-in-existence. That's why you see the civil society, as we speak very just now, it's moribund. I challenge anybody. Excepting now they are trying to pick up. It's moribund. Because they have been watching carefully. If you do your own assessment of all of this.
Honorable Destiny, you've exonerated the third tier, which is the local government.
Deliberately.
You've exonerated that there is no corruption in the local government.
No, I'm not saying that there's no corruption. No, don't misconstrue me.
What I'm asking,
no, don't misconstrue me.
You said the autonomy granted to local government
is in the papers.
Paper autonomy.
Yes.
But then you won't deny the fact that right now local governments receive more when it has to do with allocation.
No, they receive now. Heavily, brother. Compared to 2019 to 20,
there is no corruption at the local government level.
No, I'm not saying there is. You don't misconstrue me.
All right.
It's just a conduit pipe.
For the states to get to feed fat.
For the state and political leaders.
I don't
like what they currently run in Edo State as we speak.
All right.
They put one with utmost humility. A man that cannot differentiate now and yesterday.
That's speaking about your governor.
I'm not talking about. I said they put boys, glorified house boys.
I'm saying you're talking about your
glorified
governor,
house boys.
You're saying your governor put boys. Are you saying your governor put boys?
You see, you know how it's done. Edo State is in 3 geopolitical.
Because I need to know who put the boys, because we are talking about the
3 central districts.
Intergovernmental relations that even exist between the 3 tiers of government. I'm trying to find who put the boys. Your governor?
Governors at times will sit some local government to certain leaders or leader. You could go and put whether your houseboy, your cook in that council. You go and put whether your driver or your wife's handbag carrier in that council. That's the way it's done in my state. You can go and do your own findings. And other states. But I'm using Edo State as a case study. I don't want to particular about and I would be here to but let me just leave it at that. So they are just glorified houseboys put there. You see, there's a toxic, scenario in our polity that will not give us the desired results in terms of having a good governance in Nigeria. What we have there is not democracy, it's just civilian. You see, the leaders abhors men and women that can differentiate their left from their right, that are independent, that have something in their brains. They don't want them. You are a journalist. You understand what I'm saying. You just want me to talk.
Well,
it's the gospel truth.
You can't completely say I understand what you're saying. I've never.
I know you know this.
Well,
Godwin, I know you. I know you know this.
All right. Let's look at you. Since you've taken us to Edo State.
Yes.
And of course,
that's my state.
About it's your state and
my lovely state.
Of course, your lovely state and
where king is truly king. Where king is truly king.
Well, and by the report we have, your governor is really performing excellently well, even in your state. And right now, the state is actually free.
Oh my God!
It's a corruption-free.
God, do you come again?
No, I'm just saying based on the statistics I have right now.
What statistics? Let me hear.
Well, my fact is telling me that right now,
yes,
the taxonomy of corrupt states in Nigeria, Edo State is not ranked even among the first 5. So, which means Edo State.
Which are the first 5?
Well, let's not go by that. Let's come back.
Oh my God! God
to you. Let's come back to you.
Yes, I'm here.
It's Edo State, and the figures that we have, is it in tandem?
What you are saying, what brings about transparency is open government or open governance. As we currently speak, perhaps you must have seen it online. One of the governor's boys that they fall out said the budget as it currently stand is a show of shame. I don't know where you got that your statistics from. No, data don't lie. Data don't lie. That's why at times when people are talking about Nigeria, that Nigeria is about 220 million, I say, where do you get that data from? Because the last time we conducted census, I can still remember very vividly, it was 206. It's 20 years by this year. So where do you get that data from? How many of our wives give birth in a registered hospital? Many of them, over 50%, are traditional bed attendants. Like my grandmother in my village. And my mother-in-law in my wife's village. They are delivering babies. How do you put those ones? How do you census those ones? Are you aware of many people that dies every day? There are many. By accidents. By bandits. How do we arrive at that? So for me, as a country, there's no way we move forward. Because we don't know your strength by way of population. It's difficult for you not to appropriate or budget. So that's what we have. First thing first, we are confused by not knowing how many are we in the country. So how are you not going to appropriate? How are you not going to budget? How are you not going to plan? How are you not going to secure? That's a fundamental problem.
Well, you've asked how we arrive at that figure. I didn't arrive at the statistics. Well, UNODC, a corruption index in Nigeria, and the MBS were able to give us those figures. And you saying that it is not correct. But I didn't carry out that research. By the way, I was not the one that gave out the figures. Edo State is not on the list among the five states, which means that Edo State is doing fantastically well when it has to do.
Before he came, hold on. Before he came aboard, hold on.
A corrupt free state.
Hold on. If you want to understand today, you go back to yesterday. You see, that's why the great Cicero once said, very fantastic historian. He said, for a child not to know what happened before his birth, if care is not taken, that child will not get to the age of the father. For you to understand what killed your father, you must understand before your birth. So I want to know what happened before his tenure. during his predecessor, what rank was Edo State? That's why we'll be able to, understand. Now that they are getting a very bogus handout from Abuja.
You mean allocation?
In terms of allocation. They are getting handouts from Abuja. Very bogus. At the time, the president was very magnanimous, Father Christmas. He gave them 500 billion so that they will be able to work for him and nominate him for the only candidate or candidate of APC.
So you're saying that this
they are getting very bogusly.
You're saying that
very lavishly
is not correct.
Very conspicuously. They are getting it. I'm not saying that it's not correct. The point I'm saying, I'm a realist. My yesterday, my today, and my tomorrow. I am. What is the state of Edo in terms of corruption before he came aboard? Has he taken Edo? Perhaps maybe before he came, Edo was number 10 in terms of corruption. He has now, because of his performance, has now dropped to 20. That's what I want to know. That's my point of contention. That is the crux of this matter.
But spending so far has been more transparent in Edo State, and of course, procurement also.
I said he's not running. He's not running with open governance. You're not asking to. It's like I'm not a doctor. You're asking me. See, there's a problem. There's a problem. He's running the court. He's running the government as if he's running the court. You know how courts operate. If you're not a member, you can't know what is happening. It's secrecy. That's why it is our collective patrimony. That's why it's our collective patrimony.
Indigenous of Edo are celebrating the governor even on different platforms.
I'm an indigenous of Edo.
And you're not
I'm not celebrating him. At least one of the
so we should begin to question the genuineness of your indigenship.
You see, do you know what we don't have a problem. Patriotism is not interrogating the process. A patriotic person is questioning the process. A man that is patriotic to his family, to his local government, to his state or his country, will be able to assert that assertiveness by way of what to know. How are you running this establishment? Because this establishment is all of us. I don't know, I've told you before. I said I was in primary 5. When I asked my father, why did you marry my mother's second wife? Primary 5. I want to know. At primary 5, just about 10 years or thereabout, I was able to ask my father. Because of that singular question. That's what endeared me to my father. Endeared me to my father. And that became my father's favorite. I was also, you go to my village, go and ask questions. So because people ask questions, that's say the person is not patriotic.
We will wait for that sponsorship because we need to go
Definitely.
we need to get to Edo State. You've saying that the statistics are not right.
No. See. Hold on. I'm here.
Okay.
I wouldn't want you to force words into my mouth. I know perfectly that my mother tongue has not failed me.
Okay,
so because of that, there's no way I will speak Swahili.
Okay, so you're comparing.
I haven't said it's correct.
Okay, so
I haven't said it's correct. I haven't said it's wrong.
You're only
the point I'm saying
it with previous administration.
Hold on now.
And this one.
Hold on.
So be on the same page.
Hold on. If you want to ascertain the cleverness or the intellectual prowess of your child, you try to look at it. Maybe move from school A to school B. You try to juxtapose his performance in terms of his mental alertness. What I'm saying here, before he came, Edo, in terms of corruption index, was number 5. I don't know if you are getting me, or first 5. Now that he's now on board as Okpewolo, it has dropped to 6, 10, meaning there is a progress. That's what I'm saying. Until then, I cannot tell you, because the way it's run now, Edo State is being run as a court.
Honorable, we've talked about the family unit.
Yes.
And you said it is right now the breeding ground for corruption. We've talked about the institutions, the National Assembly.
We have weak institutions.
We talked about the judiciary.
I'm coming.
And you've mentioned clearly that the judiciary is largely the source of corruption because justice in Nigeria has become...
I said it's principality from against Nigeria.
You said that justice in Nigeria is for highest bidder. And you've also said that when they talk about the executive, it's a no-go area. Now, looking at the family units, the legislature, the institutions, the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, the ICPC, and other bodies that are supposed to regulate corrupt practices in Nigeria. And right now, it tends to be an open conversation that these issues need urgent attention. So let me even bring this to you. Where do we go from here as a country?
You see, when I said there is a fundamental problem, it was deliberate. Because there is a moral decadence.
So where do we go from here?
There's a moral decadence in our society.
So we cannot go anywhere.
It's not as if we cannot. We have to go back to rejig the system from the family unit.
By rejigging, you mean we should start giving birth to new children? Or we should start brainwashing?
The family must, the father of a family must lead by example. If I say my son should go to school, he must see me whether I'm preparing for exam, reading. I don't know if you're getting me. You must lead by example. Not the saying, do what I say and don't do what I do. It's an error. The government must learn to encourage and invest in education. These days, you hear, who's could help? Have you not heard?
I've heard that school is even a scam.
God bless you.
By a lot of young
you've assisted me. So that's the problem. At any rate, good certificates your present president is carrying around. Falsified certificate.
Well, let's not.
Forgery.
Let's not.
So you expect something fantastic from such a country?
Let's not go there.
When my father is corrupt, excuse me, sir.
About the light at the
excuse
end
me,
of the
sir.
tunnel.
I told you something just now. My father was a teacher. A teacher. I lost my father when I was in secondary school. I saw myself through school. I knew that my father, he stood for something. I saw myself through school. At the point I went to APU Zaria to pursue law. My name was at the board, but it wasn't at the master list. I spent 6 months, 7 months trying to correct it. And there was no way. I had to return back to Benin. At those states. That's how I found myself in international study and diplomacy. I was eager because I knew what my father stood for to get something. If my father was a thief, a farm thief, or perhaps a money doubler during his time, wash. Perhaps by now would have been a Yahoo Mugu. A Yahoo Mugu. But my father stood for something. I deny myself for certain things. Even when I had the opportunity of going to abroad. Towards 2017, when I rounded up I was in University Texas on extractive industry and the African economy. I had the opportunity of saying, but I came back. Because my wife just gave birth. But not because of that. Because I believe this is the only country I have. And it will be unheard of. That after my exit, and when the people are reading, they can't see anything of a trace of me. That is hellfire. Thank God if I die today, there are more to when you Google, you will see more, you will see me. In the last few months, I've done over many articles. In the last few months.
So where do we go from here?
We must go back to the drawing board. The family value. And the government must lead by example. Simple. If I want to be a governor of my state, my children of school age must go to school in my state. Not private school, state-owned school. That's the only way we'll correct it. And if I want to be a governor,
you're not scared about their security.
See, that's the problem. Do you know if my children is attending school, I know that there will be security. It's the gospel truth. And if I want to go for governor, and I'm a governor, I will attend the public hospital. We'll get it right. Look at Delta State, one of the richest, if not the richest. You can't point to a viable hospital, clinic in the whole of Delta State. Specialist hospital, none. They go to UK, they go to UAE, they go to Turkey, they go to Germany, they go to Spain. This is an aberration. That is where we've missed it. You see, if I want to govern, if I cannot die, then there's no need for me to govern my people. If I cannot die for my people, if peradventure,
you need a rise.
They need a rise. See, it is where your mouth is. That's where your what?
Well, a lot of people have said this also. It has become like a reoccurring thing for
that what?
For politicians to say some of these very beautiful statements. But when given power, that's why I asked you if the system is what invariably turn men to what they are not supposed to be when they get into office. But then let's leave that to be...
No, let me go with few lines.
All right.
When I was privileged to have been in the public office, my two kids, they were already in a certain school. Even when the opportunity, when it cropped up and I was privileged, some of my friends came, I need to change my... I said, no. If they were good before, they should still be good now. Even the house I was living, I had two bedroom, off supply roof, no supply roof, ask anybody, 3 flats.
In Benin.
Is in the suburb. Because I was an activist, I knew when I installed, maybe they will organize to have me beaten up. I said, that time my sisters area boys, let me go to the GROA. I was using the 3 flats, 2 bedroom, to pay for a single flat, 2 bedroom, in GROA. Because if you attack me, it will be very obvious and glaring that this is a sponsored attack. You understand my point? So I was able. So what am I saying? When I was privileged, they said, no, this place is no longer conducive. That I need to. I said no. For if it was conducive for me then, anybody that wants to see me will have to come here. I'm saying you can go and verify. It's verifiable.
Well,
I changed the score of my children. No, I changed it just a year ago. A year ago. Because I knew that, okay, with the little talk here, they pay me for this seminar to come and give lecture. I can't. I changed them. I upgraded them. Because the senior boy was going to secondary school.
Well, we will do the verification maybe after this show. Because I'm missing that right now that our time is fast spent. Well,
fantastic.
Honorable Destiny Enabulele, I want to say thank you so much for finding out time.
Always my pleasure.
Here on Korero.
Nice to be here again.
How far we can go on the show tonight. Don't forget that you can leave your thoughts, you can leave your comments on our various social media handle currently showing on your screen. You can also download the RapidTV app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do enjoy the rest of your night rest. Bye for now.
My name is Akio Sakido.
Hey guys, this is Anto Lecky.
My name is Leo Bliss.
My name is Akava. I go by the name Baba D.
Situation it's a big conversation.
Within the context of what the questions you see online and what people are asking and what the international is difficult to judge a system with that with a single sentence.
All right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, we will definitely just...
To do that is not a 1 hour thing.
It's a big conversation. That's why I said it's a big conversation.
It's a progressive process.
We will allow you to one of these days to come back and do a proper lecture on this so that we understand the process that it will take. Because Nigerians are eagerly waiting for results.
If you look at one question alone, it can take up the entire time.
No challenge, Doctor.
To explain exactly.
But we don't have all the time.
the surrounding factors
that will come surrounding factors
to the question.
But on this note, I want to say thank you so much, Dr. Ibrahim Bello Dauda, for finding out time to be with us here on Korero.
Thank you.
We'll create that time so that you give us those lectures, especially opposition party. I believe that lecture.
No, we can have different parties in the studio.
We will definitely have different parties in the studio. Well, viewers, this is how far we can go on the show tonight. Do not forget you can leave your thoughts, you can leave your comments on our various social media handle currently showing on your screen. And you can also download the Rapid TV app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do enjoy the rest of your night rest. Bye for now.